William Lowe, the owner, founder, designer of Audioquest, which is mostly known for cables, though also Dragonfly, and there will be other products. Where I'm from, well, Audioquest is in California, so I suppose California would be the... Look to say that, well, since the last show, this is a new category, and that would be like USB 3.0, which is of incremental relevance to the audiophile world, because the only time it's used is from an external hard drive to a computer. DACs, audio DACs, don't use USB 3.0. And one should not use USB from the external hard drive if you don't have to, because it's better not to have two types of communication happening on the USB bus at the same time. So we make 3.0 because people will use it, but it's better to use FireWire or Thunderbolt than to use USB from the hard drive. But people don't always have a choice. This is the beginning of some other categories that I look forward to. Next year there will be some headphones that will be special, and power filters, which will be special. Dragonfly came out a year ago, and there will also be some companions to the Dragonfly, wireless and USB stick. And the same is in this case true for this cable. This Telegartner is a German connector. It's a German connector. There is a patented circuit. There's a circuit inside, combination of the mechanical relationships between the pieces and an electronic circuit to smooth the impedance mismatch. Inside of a category cable there are 4 twisted pairs, and the geometry of those pairs is very, very critical. Taking those 4 twisted pairs and turning them into a row of 8 conductors that are flat, that's a big change in impedance. Now, that's electrical impedance, but one way of recognizing the significance of impedance in the mechanical world, when a horn loudspeaker is not done perfectly, and even when it is done very well, you often get that real change in the sound. And that change in the sound from a horn is because the air inside the horn has a different impedance than the air outside the horn. And at that interface there are reflections and interaction. That's mechanical impedance, but the same problem exists anytime a cable goes to a plug. And in analog audio that transition is not so difficult. But for high-speed data, the transition of a twisted pair into a row, a flat row, is a real mismatch and will cause reflections and interaction and distortion. And this is a very unusual circuit that even if they fully explain it to me, I still wouldn't fully understand. But I don't let lack of understanding get in the way of I can hear and I will buy it because it's the best I've ever heard. And people today, this wonderful system that my distributor, that Radar, is using, that system does not bring more pleasure than a hi-fi 70 years ago. And that doesn't mean that the hi-fi from 70 years ago and the hi-fi today sound the same. What it means is that it's about relationships. And the relationship between the human listener being emotionally vulnerable and open to the music, making you feel good. Sometimes people buy products that are not as good as what they had before, especially with power filters. Most power filters don't sound as good as plugging straight into the wall. Some are better, and it does depend on how bad the current is from the wall. Because some power filters are like a bandage. If you have a wound, the bandage is a good thing. If you don't have a wound, the bandage is a bad thing. So a lot of power filters make the sound worse, but it makes change. So if the attitude is
change is always good.
If the attitude is change is good, then yes. Somebody might put in this thing that actually makes the sound worse, but in that moment, the change gives them permission to stay up all night rediscovering their music because the relationship is new. Then a year later they take out the filter and they say, oh, how could I ever live with that?